What did you learn in elementary school that turned out to be a lie when you reached adulthood? That I can't use my notes in life. What does that even mean? I'm always looking at my notes when I do my job. My most realistic to actual life tests were open notes, open book, open whatever, but purposely designed so there were more problems than you could finish in the allotted time. If you were flipping around searching for a formula that you know exists, but don't know where it is, I had a prof that was like, you can use anything you can carry into the room except for a cellular phone or another person. You did not bring the Wi-Fi router into the room, so you may not use that. I had another prof where the exam was on a computer with an internet connection. Did she care that we were looking things up? Nope. The internet won't help you if you don't know what you're doing. That cracking your fingers gives you arthritis. For us, my mom used to say, up until now to my little sister, that it would make your knuckles grow larger than normal. We had a teacher tell us that we only had so many uses before our vocal cords stopped working, so wasting it small talking during class would cause us to go mute in our 30s. That all my high school teachers and my professors once I got to college would require cursive. If I tried to hand one of my professors a paper written all in cursive, I'm pretty sure they would kill me on the spot. Apparently bears just nap a lot in the winter and don't take a 3-month mega nap. I legit thought they sleep for a long time. My frickin' teachers told me they hibernate all winter, like coma sleep, and then I accidentally dug up a cold dead frog, and I realized the frog was sleeping, and I woke it. Then I literally saw a bear walking across the backyard one winter, and I was like, WTF, I thought they're supposed to be sleeping. That doesn't/won't slide in high school, especially with due dates. My teachers always told me that in high school, if you were late on an assignment, that the teachers wouldn't accept it. IDK what teachers you all got, but my teacher would accept an assignment from the start of the semester, as long as you completed it. In my high school due dates were actually pretty strict, but in university it's almost too reasonable. At my uni at least you get 10% off per day late. I've had group assignments that we've intentionally submitted late because we knew we could get more than 10% of mark improvement. That blood is blue before it touches air. I was taught this one as well. We were taught that if you stuck your arm in a plastic bag and cut your vein, the blood would flow blue. I literally have no idea how or why we were taught this one. Cheaters never win in the end. Only good people succeed. All lies. If you touch a baby duck, its mother will reject it. Yay, ducks really don't give a damn. I've seen 2 mama ducks cross paths and unknowingly exchange a few babies with each other. You won't always have a calculator in your pocket. Not even that long ago, smartphones were already a thing. Even before smartphones, if your job involved math, you absolutely would have a calculator available. That being an astronaut is way harder than they sell it as. Palpable career. Each generation since the space race started thought the next generation would have a lot more people living and working in space. If you told someone in 1970 that in 2022 nobody would have been to the moon in 50 years, they wouldn't believe you. That I should never stand up to a bully. I should stop reacting so they would get bored and leave me alone. That if I ever fought back I would be suspended, so it wouldn't be worth it. Don't worry, every time I went to the teachers for help I was told I needed to share my lunch, so it wouldn't get stolen. I needed to be more forgiving and understanding because the girl who attacked me was on the cheer team, etc. So this didn't give me some lasting problems with conflict. Nope. I was told this until high school, never believed in it, and defended myself, even when the principal got involved. You can't defend yourself. Don't do that. Mayo, what a load of fighting a bully, making it not a sure thing that they'll get away unscathed is the only way to temporarily stop them. They'll do the unconscious risk/reward calculation in their head and think, last time I did this, I still won, but I had some bruises. Maybe I'll pick an easier target for a while. Dude I knew in high school only actually stopped bullying when someone gave him a traumatic brain injury by hitting him from behind with a half brick after he and his mates had kicked the guy's brother on the ground until he was unconscious. Those 2 kids were sent to another school, and the bully showed up for like 3 more days of the rest of the school year with a helper. I can't condone it, but I can't condemn it either. I learned in kindergarten that emperor penguins were the same height as us. True at the time, but as I grew, I still thought that they were still the same height as I am. Then, as a teenager, I was surprised when I saw penguins at the zoo that they were only 3 to 4 feet or so, and not my actual height. Recycling plastic is an effective way to help save the environment. Turns out the whole campaign was started by the oil industry as a way to make people feel better about buying plastic, knowing all along that there was never any infrastructure in place to feasibly separate and clean plastics, so they end up tossed in the landfill with everything else. I'm hoping this will change as smaller companies start adopting better practices. But the vast majority of these are doing the same greenwashing in the name of creating a positive environmental culture, while actually not doing anything to help. As someone that really jumped into environmentalism and conservation, it was heartbreaking to learn about this. I'm hopeful that we can make better advancements on biodegradable plastics, since ocean plastic is projected to triple by 2040 at our current rate. Aluminum is very recyclable, because making new aluminum from bauxite requires a lot of energy. Melting aluminum cans down and making new aluminum out of them is solidly cheaper than making new aluminum. Glass is very reusable. If you don't break it, a glass bottle can be cleaned and reused pretty indefinitely. Ask any brew pub how many growlers they refill. Recycling glass is not nearly as efficient as just reusing it without melting it down. Plastic is not really very recyclable. It can pretty much only be made into crappier forms of plastic. So plastic bottles can be made into a park bench, but a worn out park bench can't be made into bottles. Instead, it is made into environmental microplastics as it erodes. We were taught that platypus were extinct, not endangered, not almost extinct, just extinct. Imagine my surprise when I discovered the internet. Also, for whatever reason we were taught that granite was a metamorphic rock. I'm taking college geology, and it has shown me that all previous education prior to college is obsolete. That your appendix is useless, while it causes more harm than good. If it gets infected, it is believed to protect the good bacteria in your gut. That George Washington's false teeth were made of wood. Nope, they were real teeth from slaves, which is just plain awful. That your tongue has taste zones. TBH, I never believed that one even in elementary school, because it didn't make sense. I mean, technically it's not false, but the amount of times the schools spent teaching us to stop, drop, and roll to put out flames made me believe that me being on fire would be a much more frequent problem in my life than it ever has been. The reason is, it works. It's been incredibly effectively ingrained in the head of school children for decades, to the point of being a subconscious action people take without even thinking about it. Same as checking a door for heat with the back of the hand and staying low in smoke. Sure, the net is much larger than the group that will need it in their lifetimes, but the results justify it. My physics teacher told me to never pursue art because her father was an artist, and apparently they grew up poor and occasionally eating dog food. She made a point to call out my artistic pursuits during class and call them unwise life choices. I ended up pursuing it anyways. I make pretty good money as a designer. Pluto used to be a planet, then he was not, and now he's a dwarf planet.